Are you doing the equivalent of selling bananas on the Titanic? Think about that for a second. Most businesses try to help their clients, but until you help your clients with their biggest issue, you're not going to sell your client. So, which is the equivalent of trying to sell bananas on the Titanic, right? The Titanic has a bigger problem. They don't want to worry about your bananas. You know, the day before they might have bought tons of your bananas, but since they hit an iceberg, their biggest issue is preventing sinking, right? So if your business is not surrounded with experts that solve all of the problems that your clients are facing, could that be the reason why you're not selling a lot of your clients, right? If you're doing a pay-per-click campaign, as an example, and your only focus is selling your product or selling your service, then chances are your closing ratio is going to be extremely low because you haven't done a forensic analysis of their business to truly find out what their problems are. And thinking, okay, the owner of the business should know what his problems are, right? Which they don't, because don't forget, most business owners are self-taught. Most small to medium-sized business owners started by working with their hands. Most small to medium-sized business owners have no formal training. Most small to medium-sized business owners are accountable to no one. And that's why they wanted to be their own bosses, which means they can get away with the M word every single time. This is why it generally takes them, 20 to 40 years to accomplish what they could have accomplished in 6 months or 12 months had they had a proper advisor. So thinking that your client is the expert, it's not going to happen. They're not the experts. This is why they depend on bookkeepers and accountants, and they actually look at their bookkeepers and accountants as advisors. So if you're doing the equivalent of selling bananas on the Titanic or rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, you've heard that saying before, but I like the bananas idea better. So if you're doing the equivalent of doing that, in other words, if someone has wounds on their body and you're trying to give him a haircut, he's not going to worry about that because he's bleeding all over the place, right? His biggest concern is what he perceives to be his biggest concern. So until you address his biggest concern, you're not going to sell him a haircut, and you're certainly not going to sell him bananas. So all that to say, if you're not part of a trusted circle of experts, if you're not one of 20 people that are offering services to your client, and no matter what happens, no matter what's happening in your client today, one of your 20 experts can help them. And if you're not offering a holistic approach to solving their problems, could that be the reason why you're not closing enough clients, right? Are you only looking at your clients from your perspective, or should you be looking from inside, from their perspective? Are you offering a holistic approach? Are you solving all their problems? And if you're not solving their major problem first, you're not going to get a chance to sell your product or sell your service. Post yes below if you'd like to have better ideas of what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then watch some of the other videos and post yes below if you would like some help or advice to offer a more realistic approach. We'll talk again soon. Type yes below.